Have you ever woken up one morning, looked around your home, and realized how quiet it has become? No footsteps in the hallway, no phone calls lighting up your phone, no familiar voices filling the rooms with laughter and chatter. You might wonder, is this what aging looks like? But here's a truth I want you to hold close. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. They are two very different things. Some people in their 70s and 80s seem to radiate joy, purpose, and vitality. Others feel isolated, invisible. What makes the difference? It's not luck. It's not better health or bigger families. It comes down to simple daily choices, small habits practiced with intention. And today, we're going to explore some of those powerful habits together, right here on Vibrant Elders. I truly believe this conversation can help you live each day with more energy, meaning, and connection. Before we begin, if these ideas resonate with you, if they stir something inside, please consider giving this video a like or leaving a comment. You never know, your words might be just the encouragement someone else needs today. And of course, if you enjoy our content, I'd be honored if you subscribe to our channel and join this community of wise and vibrant souls. So, let's begin. Imagine a woman named Linda, 68 years old, living in Portland, Oregon. After retiring from her long career as a schoolteacher, Linda found herself adrift, days blurred into one another. Without the rhythm of her job, the hours stretched long and empty. Then, one day, she saw a flyer for a local quilting circle at the library. On a whim, she went. That one small decision transformed her life. Thursdays became her favorite day of the week. She not only learned beautiful new quilting patterns, but also made dear friends and became a mentor to younger women in the group. Over cups of warm chai, they shared stories and laughter. That little spark of joy reignited a sense of purpose she thought she'd lost after retirement. Stories like Linda's are not rare. In fact, they are a beautiful example of what we'll talk about today: how creating simple, mindful habits can breathe new life into your days. One of the most transformative habits is practicing gratitude and reflection. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly paused to appreciate the life you've built? Maybe right now, you're sitting with a warm cup of coffee, noticing how quiet the house feels. It's easy to focus on what's missing, the loved ones who aren't there, the busy routines of the past that have faded. But here's a gentle truth I've heard over and over from members of our Vibrant Elders community. Gratitude can quietly transform loneliness into contentment. Let me share the story of Carolyn, a 72-year-old widow from Minneapolis. After losing her husband, mornings were the hardest for Carolyn. The empty chair at the breakfast table felt like a sharp ache. One day, her church group introduced a simple practice. Each morning, name 3 things you are grateful for. At first, Carolyn scoffed. What do I have to feel grateful for right now? But she decided to try. Her first list was small: the morning sunlight warming her kitchen window, the neighbor's dog wagging its tail when she passed, the scent of her favorite lavender hand cream. Not earth-shaking, but over time, this small act shifted her focus. Within a few weeks, Carolyn began noticing more moments of beauty. The act of looking for gratitude helped her see them. This is the magic of gratitude. It gently rewires the brain. Modern research supports this. Studies show that practicing gratitude regularly reduces stress, improves sleep, and boosts feelings of well-being. Reflection is another powerful tool. It's not about getting lost in nostalgia. It's about honoring your life's journey. Ask yourself, how have I grown through life's ups and downs? What strengths have I developed? What small joys still bring me happiness? At one of our Vibrant Elders meetups, a gentleman named Henry shared a lovely habit. Every evening, he sits by his fireplace, closes his eyes, and reflects on one small success from the day. Sometimes it's something big, calling an old friend. Other times, it's remembering to take his vitamins. This practice gives him a sense of purpose and pride, even when the outside world feels overwhelming. So if you're wondering where to start, begin here. Take 5 minutes each morning or evening. Write it down, or simply speak it aloud. Name 3 things you're grateful for, and 1 thing you're proud of or learned that day. Remember, you are not defined by what you've lost. You are enriched by all that you've experienced, all that you still are. Now, Let's talk about another habit that can profoundly shape your days: staying socially connected. If I had to name one silent threat to aging well in America, it wouldn't be heart disease or arthritis. It would be loneliness. A 2023 study from the U.S. Surgeon General's office reported that loneliness carries the same health risks as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Isn't that staggering? But here's what gives me hope. Connection is a skill you can practice at any age. Let me tell you about Frank, an 81-year-old retired farmer from Iowa. After his wife passed away, and with his children living far away, Frank's days looked painfully repetitive. Wake up, eat breakfast alone, watch TV, go to bed. During a routine checkup, his doctor gently said, "Frank, I think it's time you start reconnecting." That night, Frank found an old phone book and called Jerry, a childhood friend he hadn't spoken to in 20 years. Nervously, he dialed the number. Jerry answered. They talked for 2 hours, laughing, crying, and making plans to meet. Now, every Wednesday, Frank and Jerry meet at their local diner. They share pancakes, swap stories, and explore new hobbies together. That first phone call wasn't easy, but it cracked open a door Frank had closed for too long. You might be thinking, but I don't have old friends nearby. That's okay. The beauty of modern life is that you don't need to rely solely on in-person relationships. I know many seniors who've built vibrant online communities. Take Susan, a 70-year-old retired nurse from Atlanta. During COVID, she joined a Facebook group for classic movie lovers. Through Zoom movie nights, she built friendships across the country. To this day, they still meet virtually every Sunday. The key isn't how you connect, it's that you do. A short phone call, a video chat, a wave and smile to a neighbor. And if you feel shy, start small. Volunteer once a week, join a book club, attend a gentle yoga class. Each connection builds confidence and community. Remember, connection is like exercise for your soul. The more you do it, the stronger you feel inside. As we continue, I'd love to explore another essential habit with you, because nourishing your mind is just as important as nurturing your heart and body. Because nourishing your mind is just as important as nurturing your heart and body. There's a saying an elderly teacher once shared with me in Boston. She said, "When the body slows down, the mind must dance harder." That wisdom stuck with me. It's so easy, especially after retirement, to unconsciously let our mental world shrink. Without work deadlines or children at home, many routines become quieter, days risk becoming repetitive, and when that happens, our mind, like a muscle, begins to weaken. But here's the beautiful part. Just like a muscle, your brain can be strengthened at any age. If you give it challenge and novelty, it will thrive. Let me introduce you to Janet. She's a 74-year-old retired high school English teacher living in San Diego. After 4 decades of teaching, Janet welcomed retirement. The first few months felt like a well-deserved vacation. But soon, days started to blur together. Then came a wake-up call. One morning, Janet misplaced her car keys, not once, but twice in the same week. The second time, she found herself sitting on her living room floor, frustrated and a little scared. That moment sparked a decision. Janet enrolled in a creative writing class at her local community college. It was something she had always loved, but never had the time to pursue. At first, she was intimidated. She was the oldest person in the class by far. But she kept going. Slowly, she began writing short stories again, analyzing characters, expanding her vocabulary. Week by week, her mind felt alive again. Encouraged by her classmates, Janet joined a local pub's trivia league. Tuesday nights became her mental gym, where quick thinking rounds tested her memory, logic, and even her knowledge of pop culture. 6 months later, the change was remarkable. Her memory improved, her mood lifted, conversations with friends became richer. Even her children commented, "Mom, you sound like yourself again." And the science backs this up. A 2022 Harvard Medical School study found that mentally stimulating activities can delay cognitive decline by as much as 30%. But here's the key. Mental stimulation doesn't have to mean complex academic work. It's about introducing small doses of challenge and novelty into your life. In our vibrant elders community, members have shared some wonderful examples. One gentleman in Ohio started learning Italian so he could surprise his grandson's Italian-American bride with a heartfelt wedding toast. A lively group of seniors in Seattle plays Dungeons and Dragons weekly. What began as a lighthearted experiment is now their favorite brain workout. An 80-year-old woman in Florida took an online photography course. Now she teaches her local garden club how to capture stunning flower photos with their smartphones. So here's a reflection for you. When was the last time you learned something new? If it's been a while, that's your mind gently asking for an adventure. I encourage you, pick just one thing to explore. A crossword puzzle, a new recipe, a fascinating TED Talk, an online art class. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's simply to be engaged. Your mind deserves to stay curious, just as much as your heart deserves to stay open. Now, speaking of keeping things open, let's talk about your body. Because movement is absolutely vital if you want to live vibrantly. If there's one message I wish every older adult in America could fully embrace, it's this: movement is not optional. It is essential. Of course, I understand the hesitations. As we age, moving sometimes hurts. Joints stiffen, muscles tire more quickly. But here's what decades of research and countless stories from our vibrant elders community have shown me. The more you move, the better you feel. The less you move, the harder life becomes. There's a delightful phrase I once heard from a senior fitness coach: motion is lotion. I love that image. Every time you move, you're essentially lubricating your joints, improving circulation, strengthening muscles, and keeping your independence. Consider Eleanor, an 80-year-old retired librarian in Chicago. After retirement, Eleanor led a very sedentary life. She adored her books, maybe a little too much. Most days, she'd spend hours in her recliner, lost in novels. At first, it didn't seem like a problem. But gradually, everyday tasks became harder. Standing up from her chair, bending to tie her shoes, walking to the corner store. It frightened her. Then her daughter gifted her something simple but life-changing: a membership to the local senior community center. At first, Eleanor resisted. "I'm too old for exercise," she'd say. But her daughter persuaded her to try just one gentle chair yoga class. Reluctantly, Eleanor attended, and to her surprise, it wasn't grueling. It was uplifting. The class was filled with laughter, friendship, gentle stretches, and joyful movement. Encouraged, Eleanor added a short daily walk to her routine, just 10 minutes at first. Later, she began light resistance exercises using small hand weights. 6 months later, Eleanor felt transformed. She was physically stronger. Her energy returned. Sleep improved. Even her doctor noticed her improved balance and vitality. Here's the point: you don't need to run marathons. You don't need to lift heavy weights. What matters is consistency, not intensity. The CDC recommends about 150 minutes of moderate activity per week. That's just 21 minutes a day. And the benefits? Reduced risk of heart disease, diabetes, depression, and even certain cancers. Many of our Vibrant Elders members have found fun, creative ways to stay active. One couple in Vermont takes daily dance breaks to Elvis Presley songs in their kitchen. A retired firefighter in Texas uses gardening as his main workout, hauling soil, digging, and pruning. A group of widows in Oregon formed a walking club called the Silver Striders. They meet 3 times a week, rain or shine. And movement doesn't have to look like traditional exercise. It can be dancing, gardening, stretching, swimming, or even active housework. What's important is to build movement into your daily rhythm so it feels natural. And remember, it's never too late to start. I once interviewed a 90-year-old woman named Betty who began Tai Chi at age 87. She swears it improved her balance, confidence, and overall well-being. So here's your question for today. How can you move your body just a little more tomorrow than you did today? Even 5 extra minutes matter. Because when you keep moving, you keep living fully. Now, there's one more habit I can't wait to share with you. One that helps you take charge of your time and make every day feel meaningful. One more habit I can't wait to share with you. One that helps you take charge of your time and make every day feel meaningful. And that habit is establishing a daily routine. Now, I know some folks bristle at the word routine. It can sound dull, even restrictive. But here's the truth. A good routine isn't about confinement. It's about creating rhythm and purpose, giving each day its own sense of flow. I often tell people that when we retire or when the house empties out, life loses the natural structure we used to rely on. Without the rhythm of work, kids, or other obligations, time can become unstructured, and when time has no shape, days can slip by without much meaning. Let me tell you about Robert. He's a 77-year-old former accountant from Cleveland. After his wife passed and he retired, Robert described his life this way: "It felt like one long Saturday. At first, that freedom was fun. He slept in, he caught up on old movies, he tinkered with hobbies, but soon, time started to blur. He'd stay in pajamas until noon, forget to eat proper meals, and found himself growing restless, even anxious. Then one afternoon, during a casual phone chat, his daughter asked him a simple but powerful question: 'Dad, what does a good day look like for you now?' And Robert realized he didn't know. That question sparked something. Determined to take back control of his time, Robert sat down and designed a simple daily rhythm. He started waking up at the same time each morning. He made a point to shower, get dressed, and eat breakfast with the newspaper. He scheduled a 20-minute morning walk. He carved out time for hobbies, model trains, and woodworking. He made a point to call a friend or family member every afternoon. At night, he kept a small reflection journal and followed a simple bedtime routine. Robert told me later, "Once I had a rhythm, the days stopped feeling like they were slipping away. I woke up with purpose again." And that's what a good routine does. It anchors your days. It gives you little moments to look forward to, things that add texture and meaning to the flow of time. I've seen this work beautifully in our vibrant elders community. One woman told me she pairs her morning coffee with classical music every single day. That simple ritual lifts her spirit and helps her start the day on a positive note. Another gentleman in Arizona begins each morning with what he calls a photo walk. He takes his smartphone and goes for a short walk, snapping photos of flowers, birds, or interesting shadows along the way. It keeps him active and creative. An elder in our group keeps a gratitude calendar on her kitchen counter. Every morning before breakfast, she writes down one thing she's grateful for, just one. But that simple practice colors her whole day with a sense of appreciation. You don't need an elaborate, minute-by-minute schedule. Start by identifying just 3 anchor points in your day. A morning ritual to begin the day well, a midday activity to keep you engaged, and an evening wind-down practice to promote rest. These anchor points help turn drifting days into purposeful days. They remind you that your time still matters, because it absolutely does. One of our members said it best: "Your time is precious. Shape it like it is." And when you take charge of your time, you also take charge of your life. Now, before we close, I want to share one more habit, one that might be the most powerful of all. It's about turning your gaze outward and finding new purpose through giving. Here's a truth I've seen again and again in our community. When you focus only inward, loneliness tends to grow. But when you reach outward, toward others, connection and joy follow naturally. Many older adults tell me they feel invisible. Life shrinks to the walls of their home. But one of the fastest ways to break that feeling is to help someone else. Helping others doesn't have to be grand. You don't need to start a foundation or donate thousands of dollars. A simple act of kindness, done consistently, can transform 2 lives, yours and theirs. I'll tell you about Margaret, an 82-year-old retired nurse from Pittsburgh. After her husband passed away and her children moved away, Margaret's days felt painfully empty. She often said, "I feel like I have no role anymore, no purpose." Then, one morning while reading the local paper, she saw a small ad seeking volunteers at the neighborhood food bank. Her first thought was, "I'm too old, I'll just get in the way." But something inside her nudged her to call. The following Saturday, she showed up, nervous and unsure. To her surprise, the staff welcomed her warmly. She started small, organizing canned goods, greeting clients, but soon, she became a beloved part of the team. People looked for her smile at check-in. She shared stories, listened, and offered words of encouragement. And something remarkable happened. Margaret began to feel needed again. She told me, "Every Saturday feels like a new chapter. I'm not just passing time. I'm part of something bigger." That's the power of helping. It shifts your focus outward. It reminds you that you still have so much to offer: wisdom, compassion, presence. And it doesn't have to be formal volunteering. One member of our community mentors young people through Big Brothers Big Sisters. Another writes handwritten letters to military service members overseas. One hosts weekly story hours at the local library. Another simply checks in on an elderly neighbor each evening with a smile and conversation. You don't need perfect health to help. Even if mobility is limited, there are countless ways to give: making phone calls to lonely seniors, sharing life advice through a blog or video, recording audiobooks for the visually impaired, or offering listening ears through a community hotline. And here's something powerful to know: helping others also helps you. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that volunteering boosts mood, reduces stress, and even increases longevity. Yes, giving to others can help you live longer. But more than that, it fills your days with meaning. As one of our Vibrant Elders members beautifully put it, "I used to count the hours in my day. Now I count the smiles." So I'll leave you with this question: who could you lift up this week? What small act of service could you offer? Because when you move from self to service, you move from isolation to connection. And connection is where life truly shines. Now, if today's video spoke to you, if even one idea resonated, I'd love to hear from you. What habit will you focus on? Share it in the comments below. Your words might inspire someone else to take their first step, too. And if this conversation touched your heart, please consider liking this video, subscribing to Vibrant Elders, and turning on notifications. We are building a community of wise, vibrant souls, and there's always room for more kindred spirits here. Thank you so much for being here today. You are valued, you are seen, you are capable of creating a life that feels vibrant and full today and every day to come. Until next time, take care, stay positive, and keep embracing life with an open heart. You see, that's the heart of this entire conversation. Aging isn't a slow surrender to invisibility. It is an invitation to live more deeply, more purposefully, and with more joy than ever before. But I know it's not always easy. Life brings change, some beautiful, some difficult. Relationships shift, health changes, loved ones move on. It's natural to feel moments of sadness, even grief. But here's what I've learned from spending time with so many wise, vibrant elders like you. You have a choice. You can focus on what's missing, or you can focus on what still remains, and on the new possibilities that await you. And the truth is, the smallest changes can have the biggest impact. I remember meeting a woman named Dottie, 79 years old, who had lost her husband and struggled with isolation. For months, she sat alone at home, convinced her good days were behind her. One afternoon, her granddaughter showed her how to use Zoom. At first, Dottie resisted. "I'm too old for this tech stuff." But with a little practice, she joined a virtual gardening club. That small shift opened up her world again. Now, twice a week, she chats with fellow gardeners across the country, swapping tips and trading stories. Dottie told me something that still sticks with me. "I thought my world had gotten smaller. But it turns out, it just needed a different window." And that's true for all of us. The tools are out there. Opportunities to learn, connect, and contribute are all around. It's never too late to start building new routines, nurturing gratitude, moving your body, keeping your mind sharp, and reaching out to help others. And remember, none of this needs to be done perfectly. It's not about achieving some ideal version of aging. It's about living authentically, with intention, and embracing each day for what it offers. In fact, some of the happiest seniors I know follow what I call the one small thing rule. Each morning, they ask themselves, what is one small thing I can do today to brighten my own life or someone else's? Sometimes it's as simple as taking a longer walk, calling a friend, trying a new recipe, writing in a gratitude journal, offering a smile to the clerk at the store. And over time, these small things add up to a life filled with meaning. One of our community members, Harold, 85 and sharp as ever, once told me, "When I wake up each morning, I remind myself that I'm not done learning, I'm not done giving, I'm not done living." And that's exactly the spirit I hope you'll embrace, too. No matter your age, no matter your circumstances, you are not done living. If you've watched this video today, That means some part of you still believes in possibility. You still believe in choosing life, fully and vibrantly. And I want to honor that belief. So here's my gentle invitation. Choose one habit from today's conversation and begin. Maybe tomorrow morning, you'll write down 3 things you're grateful for, or call a friend you haven't spoken to in years, or take a 5-minute walk, or sign up for that online class you've been curious about. Remember, you don't need to do everything. Just one small thing, then another, and please, I would love to hear what you choose. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your words might inspire someone else who's watching right now and wondering if they can do it too. And if you found this video helpful, if it stirred something in you, please consider liking it, subscribing to Vibrant Elders, and turning on notifications. We're building something special here, a community of wise, compassionate, and courageous souls who believe that life after 60, 70, 80 can be rich, beautiful, and full of possibility. You are valued here, you are seen, you are needed. So until next time, take care of yourself. Stay curious, stay connected, and keep embracing life with an open heart. Because this chapter, this vibrant, beautiful chapter, is yours to write.